Hey friends, I'm in the kitchen again, and that means that I didn't like my release this morning. I am the 0.2 queen, and that is mostly from following my own protocol. And so on the days that I only lose 0.2, I go to the kitchen and do a vlog just for you. So today my vlog is a tilapia cooked with the light lemon dressing that I like, and a handful of wilted spinach, and you can use other vegetables if you'd like, or you can also use other seasonings. You do not have to use the seasoning that I chose today. I have done this with a variety of seasonings, and I have also just done it with salt and pepper, and it tastes just as good. Again, you can use the light lemon dressing. You can also just use lemon. You could use lime. You can use salsa. There's a variety of options. I find that the more flavor we introduce when we start getting bored, the more likely we are to stay on the diet. And I think for me, I like it spicy. I like things to have a lot of flavor, so I'm always looking for ways to amp up the flavor. So here is the vlog of the day. Here is my tilapia. It was previously frozen. It is a 100-gram serving, and it is seasoned on both sides. I use a fairly liberal amount of seasoning. Okay. So here is the Old Bay seasoning, and then the ingredients on the back. Here is the coconut oil that I currently have on hand. This isn't a brand that I just buy whatever is on sale. So this is the one that I currently have in the house. Here is my light lemon dressing. You can check a vlog I did last week to find out how to make this. It is MCT oil, lemon juice, lemon zest, agave, salt and pepper. And I keep this stored in the refrigerator, and this is just one of the other ways I use it other than dressing my salad. Here is my baby spinach. Alright, what we're going to do is take a non-stick pan and heat it on the burner. I'm going to take a dab of my coconut oil, and so typically I don't measure, I just reach in and grab a dab of it, but because we are doing a cooking vlog, I measured it, and it actually is about a half a teaspoon. So you can see that that coconut oil was in a semi-solid state, and it now is melting rather quickly into a liquid form. It happens very quick. We have the pan nice and hot. It's starting to smoke. We are going to turn the heat down to medium, and you're probably going to have to turn a fan on. I am not going to turn the fan on because of filming, but we're going to heat this on a fairly high heat because that gives it a nice little crust. Okay, so as you can see, about 5 minutes of cooking. You kind of have to adjust the burner. It does smoke, so you have to go between medium and medium-low depending on the burner that you use. And once you get to that 5-minute point, you have this nice crisp crust on the fish. It's at this point that I add 2 tablespoons of my lemon dressing, a large handful of spinach. Turn the burner off and let it sit for 5 minutes, and it continues to cook in there. If you don't have the lemon dressing, you can also use lemon and just do a squeeze of lemon over the top of the fish and let that cook in there. Or I've also done salsa. I've done about 2 tablespoons of salsa, and that adds a nice Mexican flair to the fish. If I was in P3, I'd also add some butter at that point, which makes a nice creamy sauce, and that is also delicious. So you're looking for that fish to have a white edge before you flip it, and that's what kind of gives you an idea of it getting close to being halfway done. The fillets, depending on where you buy them and how they're cut, can be thinner or thicker. The fillet I cooked today was a little bit thicker, so it took a little bit longer. It's about 5 minutes. Sometimes it's 3 to 4 minutes. You just you have to gauge how the fish looks by the thickness, and then from there kind of get an idea. Some people like their fish done a little bit more than others. I like my fish just done. I don't like it overdone where it's dry. So this is what it looks like after it's been cooking for a few more minutes. The spinach is now wilted. If you don't like your spinach wilted, then you could just put your spinach on a plate and then put the fish on top of the spinach, and it would be more like a spinach salad. And you can see there's plenty of dressing. It's nice and caramelized. The spinach, what used to be a very large handful, there isn't that much. I have 1 piece here, of course, that didn't get cooked. So that is another way to eat tilapia. You can have it in front of you in about 10 minutes. I've even, in a pinch, had to defrost the tilapia directly out of the freezer and cook it that way if I hadn't already pulled it out and had it defrosted. Here is a shot of the fish. It's flaky and it has a nice crust. One thing I wanted to mention was cooking with cast iron. The pan I showed you was a Teflon pan. It's a non-stick pan. But because I've been cooking this dish so often, and because it cooks at a higher heat, and also because my family is now starting to eat this dish, I plan on investing in a cast iron pan. I'm looking for a 6 to 8 inch cast iron pan in order to cook without releasing the toxic substance, whatever it is that gets released when you use Teflon at a higher heat. I'm not sure, I need to research more into that, but I think I have read somewhere that when you heat the nonstick pans at the higher heat, they release the substance, whatever it may be, that's toxic into your food. So we don't want to be doing that. I have been looking at secondhand stores, and I'm not a big flea market shopper, but I'm sure I could find one if I went to the flea market. If you find one in a secondhand store or at the flea market, they may be beat up and not look so good, but what you can do is season them. If you Google how to season a cast iron pan, you can have that pan as good as new by following the process of seasoning the pan. So that is a purchase I plan on making in the near future, since we've been having this dish at least once a week. It's delicious. I recommend you try it. Even if you don't use the dressing, try it with salsa or try it with lemon, try it with your own seasoning. It is a nice way to add a little kick to your diet.